This is an NBC News special report. Here's Kate Snow.
Good day, everyone. We're coming on the air to bring you the latest on Hurricane Michael, now bearing down on the Florida Panhandle. It is now a Category 4 storm, although moving close to 5, the most powerful storm on record ever to hit this part of the Gulf Coast, and it is still gaining strength, bringing winds up to 150 miles an hour, heavy rain, and a potentially catastrophic storm surge. Thousands of residents in Michael's path have already evacuated. Many more who have stayed behind have now been warned to seek shelter immediately. Al Roker is tracking all of this monster storm. Al, it is moving so quickly.
If there was any good thing about this, Kate, that is moving quickly. We have tornado watches up now from Tampa all the way to Panama City. It's 15 miles west-southwest of Mexico Beach, Florida, 150-mile-per-hour winds, moving north-northeast at 14. The eye wall is on shore now. We've had wind gusts reported up to 126 miles per hour at Mexico Beach. By this evening, it is in southwestern Georgia as a Category 2 storm. It continues as a tropical storm along the Georgia-South Carolina coast. And by Friday morning, it's off the northeast coast. Here are the impacts we're talking about. Storm surge, where we see the most damaging conditions and the most deaths. Coastal locations will be inundated, 6 to 9 feet around Cedar Key, 9 to 13 feet around Apalachicola. And to give you a sense of that, a 3-foot storm surge would actually come up to your porch. A 6-foot storm surge would cover me, and a 13-foot storm surge goes into second floors of homes. And then there's the rainfall. Kate, we're talking about isolated amounts of up to 12 inches, but generally we're talking about anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of rain. Flash flood watches being issued now. This is a dangerous storm. In fact, it's so strong, Kate, that this could possibly wipe out barrier islands along the Florida coast, changing the geography forever.
Wow. All right. Al Roker, thanks. Stay with us. NBC News teams are deployed all across the storm zone. I want to get right to Gabe Gutierrez. He's in Apalachicola, Florida, on the Gulf Coast. Gabe, I can see from your shot how bad it is.
Kate, we're seeing the raw power of Hurricane Michael. Just within the past hour or so, we have seen the winds intensify significantly. As you can see behind me, parts of this town are completely underwater. We're here in downtown Apalachicola, a historic city. But as Al mentioned, this has the potential to be a historic storm, the strongest storm to hit the Florida Panhandle on record. It is projected, as my hat flies off, it is projected to strike the Florida Panhandle just to our west, but we're in the so-called dirty side of the storm, and that means that we will get hit with significantly strong wind and rain. Here in Apalachicola, authorities fear a devastating storm surge. A storm surge of at least 5 feet has already been reported. Hundreds of thousands of people in Florida have been urged to evacuate in Georgia and Alabama under states of emergency. But conditions are expected to get progressively worse in the next several hours as this monster hurricane makes landfall. Kate?
Gabe, are you seeing people there, or is that town fairly evacuated?
This is the downtown area, Kate. We spoke with the mayor of a town just to our west, Port St. Joe, closer to where the eye will hit. He says about half of his town did not evacuate. Here in Apalachicola, the downtown businesses have been boarded up. Most of the residents have left, thankfully, but there are still areas where people decided not to heed the warnings and have decided to stay. The question will be, how high will the storm surge rise over the next couple hours, and especially with high tide tonight? And how much of the wind damage will this area see, and how high will this water rise? Despite all those people that have already left, there's still plenty of danger for those who stayed. However, it is now too late to evacuate because, as you can see, Michael is already here. Kate?
Yeah, we can see that clearly. Gabe, thank you so much. Stay safe. President Trump was briefed just moments ago at the White House by federal emergency management officials. He said he does plan to visit the affected area in the coming days after the storm. We're going to continue to track this storm throughout the day. You can stay with us for continuing coverage, including Lester Holt reporting live from Panama City, Florida tonight. For now, I'm Kate Snow, NBC News in New York.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.